Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Rapid City Legal and Finance Committee meeting for February 27, 2019. I'd like to start this meeting off with a roll call and determination of quorum, please. Here.
Here.
Great. Thank you. Now that a quorum has been established, I'd welcome a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt by Mr. Solomon, second by Ms. Drury. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Now let's move on to our general public comment portion. This is a time for any member in the audience to discuss items currently not on today's agenda. Do we have any speaker request forms? Okay, great. Thank you. General public portion is now closed, and we'll just move on to our consent items. Today's consent items are items 1 through 8, and we'll open this up to public comment. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Are there any committee members that want to pull any items on today's agenda for separate consideration? Okay, seeing none. Okay, I'd welcome a motion to approve items 1 through 8, please.
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Mrs. Drury. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right, now we are at the end of the consent calendar, moving to non-consent items 9 through 12. Public comment is again open. Seeing none. Okay, general public portion is now closed, and we'll continue on. Let's move to items from the public. Number 9. We have a request to waive cleanup assessment fees. Anybody want to discuss this item? Okay, I'll defer over to the finance officer. Ms. Sumption, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Staff recommendation is to go ahead and waive the admin fees, both the $42 that has already been applied and the $100 that I have been holding off on, and that's contingent upon payment being in full by next Thursday, which would be March 7th, I believe.
Okay, and in the spirit of transparency, I talked with these parties that are involved with the finance director's understanding, and I agree. I have some text messages and emails saying that this should be paid in full, and if it is not, then the fees will be applied to the bill. Okay, Mr. Laurenti, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve with the stipulations as outlined by the finance officer. If I can get us, and I'd like to maintain the floor.
Absolutely.
And I just wanted to get that motion done, but I also want to say that you know, I probably made that motion wrong, but because I really like the motion to include the stipulation that if they don't meet that date, that the finance office immediately assess those fees
You want to revise
so that
your
they can
motion?
move forward. I'd like to revise it to that, and if the seconder wants to. All right, very good.
Restate that then.
The motion is to approve it as outlined by the finance office with the stipulations. However, if the citizens requesting the waiver don't meet that date or isn't paid by the close of business that day, that the finance office will immediately assess the entire amount.
Okay with that? Okay. All right. All right, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Laurenti, second by Mr. Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving to Parks and Recreation. We have item 10. Mr. Solomon. I'll go ahead and read it in. There's an introduction and first reading of ordinance number 6308, an ordinance to amend chapter 13.32 of the Rapid City Municipal Code relating to city cemeteries. Mr. Solomon, go ahead.
Well, thank you. If I could direct a question to the Parks Department to discuss these changes. Hello, how are y'all doing today?
Is it working?
Hey, read through it all, like a lot of the changes, made a lot of sense, clearing up a lot of the language, so I do appreciate that. You know, one thing, this isn't a major thing, but visiting hours, you have 7:30 to sunset, I think is kind of what, why not like 5:30, why 7:30? Why not a little bit earlier? Because some people before work may want to go pay respects, and I guess if it was 5:30, 6 o'clock or something, I'm not sure if it was a operations issue or what the,
I think we kind of did that, the visiting hours, set it at sunset, because we have a security company that locks the drive-through gates in the cemetery, and
Okay.
in the winter, I think they lock them, at 6 o'clock, and in the summer, it's like 8 o'clock. So we just wanted to make sure people could access the cemetery still, and there's also walk gates that are open all the time, so we just kind of made a visiting hours, so that it would not really contradict with the gate closings.
if somebody parked outside of that and walked in, would that be acceptable? For example, let's say you have, off-street parking or whatever, and they wanted to walk in before 7:30 in the morning, but not in the middle, we're not talking middle of the night here, we're talking a lot of people in parks and want to pay respects, early morning hour.
Is that when the
Yes.
gates open?
The gates are open at 7:30 a.m. Every day, Monday or Sunday through Saturday. But we gave the time because sunset changes, and we constantly get asked, when is sunset? So we wanted to pinpoint an actual time for people.
I like the sunset, by the
They
way.
can,
Makes sense.
come in and visit through the gates, but we ask that, like the parks, I think, is parks at like 10?
Yeah.
We shut down, so
Yeah.
kind of like the park system, we still have a top time, that we'd like to see people not in there.
I have no issues with the sunset. Think it should, at dark especially,
Yeah.
you don't want that. What I'm talking about is if somebody off-street park at 6 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning to go pay their respects, and the
Yes, we
gates
have
locked,
walk gates
can
for
they
that.
walk, can they
We have
walk through?
walk gates, yes, for that, yes.
So can they walk through? That's
The
what I'm trying
walk,
to get.
yes, the walk gates are always open, they don't
Okay.
close.
All right, that's kind of what I wanted to just get to the bottom of, because I do know people, obviously, who've wanted to go pay respects, at dawn, and I just wanted to make sure that that option was available. Otherwise, very good stuff. I appreciate clearing up the language. It was pretty good, and I'll yield. Thank you.
Okay, good discussion. All right, Ms. Drury, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I direct questions to Parks and Rec?
Absolutely.
Just for points of clarification, could you identify yourselves for the record? And then I do have a question.
Sure, I'm Scott Anderson, the Parks Division Manager.
And I'm Craig Nichols, the cemetery supervisor.
Thank you. I was impressed with all the updates on the ordinance. Can you tell me when the last time this ordinance has been updated?
No one knows.
No one knows?
Not in the last 14 years. I think Craig's been here for 14, so,
So it was due.
yeah.
All right, and you can tell that you put a lot of work into it because there are some changes, and a lot of them are just changes in language, current vernacular, and things like that, and I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to do it. It looks like it's very clear now and understandable, and I appreciate your time.
We have to
Thank you.
give huge kudos to the attorney's office. Kinsley did a fabulous job with us. I mean, we were stuck in the room at the Parks and Rec building for, I don't know, me and Craig worked on it for probably, 50, 60 hours. So, and she was there for probably half of that or more, so.
Great, yes. We also appreciate the city attorney's office, but thanks for doing the updates and taking the time to bring it up to date, to today's date.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, in addition to all your other responsibilities. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, looks like, do we have a motion?
So I'll move to approve.
Okay, now we have a motion to approve by Mr. Solomon, second by Mr. Laurenti. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, motion carries. Let's move to our Finance Department, item 11, an introduction and first reading of ordinance number 6312 regarding supplemental appropriation number 1 for 2019. We have a motion to approve by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Laurenti. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And under our Police Department, item 12, we have a second reading and recommendation of ordinance number 6303, an ordinance to repeal section 9.08.020 of the Rapid City Municipal Code and to enact and amend provisions concerning certain behaviors that are a public safety risk.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Mr. Lewis, second by Mrs. Drury. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. There is a there's a city council meeting next week, Monday, March 4th at 6:30 in these chambers. I welcome the public to attend. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.